Hey, Commander. Commander, what are you doing here? I've come back in time so that I'll have more time to prepare this review. Whoever thought reviewing sci-fi shows could be so eventful? You're telling me. Nice jacket, by the way. Can I try it on? You wouldn't want to mess with the timeline now, would you? Good point. Hey, Commander Fennec here, and after last week's pretty disappointing filler episode, I was hoping for the story to progress with this one. Damn straight. It was painful to watch various experienced Starfleet officers having to be taught emotional lessons they should have grasped when they were children. Well, there's a little bit of that in this one too. For all intents and purposes, this is a continuation of those emotional lessons for Raynor. Truth be told, it was actually done in a much better way. How? How could it be better? By weaving it into the overall action. Yeah, okay, I see how that could improve things, but you've got to admit that adults in positions of influence and power should have learned all this decades ago. This isn't Starfleet Academy, you know. You're referring to the place or the show? Both. But if these basic emotional journeys are the precursor to what we'll be getting, count me out. So what's going on with this episode then? That involves revealing a lot of the story, so... Spoiler alert! Shields up! So, we catch up with Maul and Lack and how they got the infiltration device Maul put on Adira in the last episode. They don't explain how they knew Discovery went to Trail despite their own clue leading them to Beta Z. Nope. All that's conveniently ignored and forgotten. Figures. Now, it turns out that this device is a time bug, which propels the ship through time as a means of stopping the Discovery in its tracks, giving Maul and Lack time to catch up with them. All while the crew were in the middle of nowhere, because that's where the next clue took them to. And Burnham and Raynor just happened to activate their personal transporter at the exact same time as the bug did its thing, so they alone are aware of the time jump. Convenient. It's sci-fi, McClug. Those kinds of things happen all the time. And it set up the premise for a trip down memory lane. It was great going back to various events during the show's run, kind of like the greatest hits. And I appreciated that they remembered Stamets' ability to be aware of time jumps, as he was in Season 1's Magic to Make the Sanest Man Go Mad. They did a good job weaving everything together in this episode. We even took a trip to the future. Oh yeah, and I was certain they were linking to the excellent short trek episode Calypso. That would have been too good to be true, Gigi. Too much has changed in the show's timeline for that episode to be able to be integrated anymore. We'll just have to chalk it down to a parallel universe or something. Shame. So, Burnham and Raynor jump through time trying to find a way to stop the time bug. I must say, I really enjoyed the subtle hint that they could carry things with them through the time jumps when Raynor gave Raynor a piece of cloth for his cut, which he still had in the next jump. Subtle. No need for long gobbledygook explanations. Just the way I like it. Anyone think they're angling Raynor and Reno to become an item somehow? I did think I saw a spark there. Time will tell, Gigi. Personally, I thought the solution to the time loop was a little too simple, but nowhere near as interesting as that episode you mentioned, Mouse. Aside from the fact that they turned the comical Harry Mudd into a murdering psychopath, Magic to Make the Sanest Man Go Mad was an excellent episode. Why couldn't they just have created a new character for that? You can ask that about a lot of nostalgia bait in modern Trek. Here, the focus was much more on the characters, and it worked in some ways, but didn't in others. It was good that this was a team effort though, right? Not just Burnham saving the day, but Raynor and Stamets too. I can't argue with that. When Burnham made herself, that was pretty cool. It did help us see how much she'd grown over the years. Yes, that was good. As was her younger self's interaction with Raynor. I thought that worked too. Less believable was how Captain Burnham had to convince the crew of Season 1 that she was who she said she was and to perform a dangerous action on her say-so. After all, the Burnham they know is nothing but a mutineer. Yeah, that too felt too easy. How they changed their minds and decided to trust her. It was interesting to see Ariam again. A totally underdeveloped character during the first 2 seasons, whom we finally learned something about in the episode she died in. Such a waste. I think she got more to say in this episode than in all her previous appearances combined. There's that, I guess. On the positive side, we had some good interactions between Burnham and Raynor. It was nice to be remembered just how much the ship went through during its years of service. And Stamets was quite fun. Especially the silly reason he gave to evacuate engineering. But on the negative side, nothing happened again, story-wise. Look, I don't mind it if an episode takes a little detour and gives us a self-contained story. That's why I enjoy Strange New Worlds so much. Likewise. But if you're going to advertise your show as each episode being but a chapter of a bigger story, sidetracks feel like a waste of time. You took the words right out of my mouth, McClock. However, this was better than last week's. That wasn't difficult to achieve. It was more entertaining, and the emotional beats were better integrated, even if it didn't propel the story forward, as it should have. So I'm awarding Face the Strange 2.5 paws. But tell me, what did you think of this episode? Share your thoughts in the comments. Live long, and may the Force be with you.